Welcome back, families. Thanks for joining me for another day of our lockdown family devotionals. I really hope that this is actually a really wonderful time for you. Even with the rain, I hope you're able to get out where you can, get to the park where you can for those essential exercise outings. And I really do hope that the time at home is a rich one for your family this lockdown. Now, speaking of time, that is exactly what I want to talk about today. I wonder what time looks like for you guys in your days at home these holidays. For me, Sundays seem to fly by. They're so quick. I wake up and then all of a sudden it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or all of a sudden it's bedtime. And I don't know where my day's gone. Time feels so fast some days. But then other days, it's like the day is so slow. And I keep looking at my watch, checking the clock, wondering how it isn't the afternoon already. Maybe you've had days just like me, both really fast and really slow. Well, maybe you even have a way of dividing up your time in your house during lockdown. Maybe you have some time allocated in the morning for certain things, maybe for our family devotionals, for your own Bible time like me. I have a time set aside to get out to my outdoor gym workout and come home with my coffee and my Bible. Then I always have a time for working, a time for meeting with people over Zoom or going for a walk. What is it that you choose to spend your time with in lockdown? I wonder. The Bible talks a lot about time, actually. One of my favorite verses is right towards the end in a book called 2 Peter. It talks about how time is different for God because he is eternal. He's not in time like us. And 1,000 years is like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years for the Lord. He approaches time so differently because he sees all of it. But the passage I want to read for you today is in a book earlier in the Bible. It's called Ecclesiastes. And it tells us this: there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. I think they were thinking of COVID when they wrote that line. A time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. The Bible is no stranger to time, to different kinds of times in our lives. It promises us that there will be a season for everything, for every activity that we could possibly imagine here on earth. And I think if God was revealing his word in 2021 to people who were writing it down for him, I think they would have included in that a time to stay home and a time to go out. Even in the Bible, it's not surprising that there are times to do different things. There are times to enjoy playgrounds full of our friends, a time to be at school, but also a time to be here at home. There's a time to be in big crowds, singing wonderful praises to our God. And there's a time where we are not to do that. I don't think God's surprised by what's happening to us. Nothing surprises God. In fact, we have a song about that, don't we? How nothing takes God by surprise. And so there's no time or season that God hasn't already planned. And I hope that you can spend your time in lockdown getting deep in his word and hearing more and more from him, growing in our love for him and seeing him at work even more at home this lockdown. See you tomorrow, guys.